Okay, I'm very happy here to have John Callan, also known as Corky, back for what hopefully will be a regular weekly or whatever update. This is, I believe, number 5. John, you're looking fairly good. Now, that's the most important question anybody will be wondering as to what the situation is. You've made a 70% recovery and you're on the road to being fully recovered, hopefully.
I I am Declan, and I'm still on the road to running down those eye passes.
We're on the road again, as the saying goes.
Yes,
Tell me this now. I just want a bit of an update on Ballina because I saw a beautiful building there that, by a miracle, the government had €500,000 to purchase. But before we get to that, we'd be remiss not to talk a little bit about the event in Knock, seeing that it
yes.
was so important. Correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at the videos, it looked as if there was an absolutely fantastic turnout of people that came a great distance. For example, I saw two sitting county councillors, one from, of course, Kildare South, I believe, and the other, the Dublin man. Out. We don't need to mention their names, we know who they are.
Yeah, we know the area.
Now, they and many other people had come a great long distance, but there was a somewhat lackluster enough turnout of the local people. Can you address
Yeah,
that for a minute
I
again?
was um I was watching it online. Obviously, um, I was just too sick to go on today. Something I spent 8 months planning, and the one day I couldn't I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But the one thing that struck me was the amount of people from around the country, that from the four corners of the country. 90% of them I knew. And so many of them phoned me from Knock on the day. It was fantastic. From Knock itself, I recognised maybe 7, 8 people that came from that were literally only a couple of minutes away from the event. And yet people went to the bother of travelling 5, 6, 7 hours by car, train, bus to get to Knock. So that was very disappointing.
Yes. Now, as I always read the comments in all these videos, and I like to reply to as many as I can anyway, a persistent question was asked that was cropping up again and again was there anybody from the local church who, in theory anyway, or in practice as well, they are the ones that are being mostly impacted by this? There seemed to be a lack of representation completely from the parish or the diocese or whatever.
Well, I've been involved with Knock now roughly 8 months since the very first committee meeting, and I've yet to hear a single statement from any religious, be it bishop, archbishop, priest, local priest, anyone condemning this. I know that 6 or so months ago, 1,000 of us wrote emails to the Vatican, and not one email was replied, or we don't even think was opened, let alone replied to. You know?
Well, all I'd say to that is if you were knowledgeable of history, you would not be disappointed because you
No,
would have expected,
no, we
uh,
weren't expecting anything, but we
you
thought we'd
wouldn't
get
expect
some
anything
kind of
different.
thing, but nothing.
That is a very sad situation indeed. Now, we did see some speeches being made at the event, and some interviews was taken. Uh, Philip did a fantastic one there with that man. I think he's from Limerick. Very well spoken man. It was very, very impressive. I was somewhat disappointed that Philip didn't get some more interviews on the day. I think his battery died at a crucial
Yes,
moment.
yes, his power went. His power went. Yeah,
I don't communicate with that man. I don't know him, but I know of him, of course.
yeah.
But
I know Philip a long time now.
next
Yeah,
time you see him, say that
yeah.
I had a suggestion.
Yes,
Suggestion is to at least borrow a battery from a Honda 90,
yeah. Or
which is
bring a
easily
generator.
portable and would solve that problem forevermore.
Oh, he was cursing himself. He was. He had to
Yes, it's
finish.
got to be from the 90, but that was the perfect size of bike.
Yeah,
And the guy that was
yeah,
missing the battery, he would be able to improvise and get
yeah,
home regardless as well. So there'd be no
yeah.
great harm done. And perhaps we'd also be helping in the issue of global warming We here in Massachusetts are suffering now from some severe global warming
Oh, God help
these
me.
days. It's about minus 10 degrees centigrade.
Oh, Mother of God.
Global warming is getting to me. So that was knock. All there was good points in knock, and there was disappointment in knock
Yes,
as well.
there was,
Now I
yes.
also watched some interviews done by Brian, and he asked a very good question. He asked some people once, do they think that the stamina of the people turning out for protests is dropping or maintaining or whatever? I was afraid myself that people might be getting worn out. But the people replied that no, it's actually the opposite. The people are getting more fervent, and don't be disappointed because this is the middle of January in the west of Ireland. And from their perspective, it was actually a great turnout.
It
So,
was, yes.
yeah,
Because it was a pouring wet day as well. And like for people to travel the distance that they did travel. I was talking to John Malloy there on Sunday night when he got back to Donegal. And I said, imagine if this was the middle of, say, June or July. You would have having thousands and thousands there, I reckon.
yes.
Weather does play
That,
a
that
part.
journey would have been viewed as a penance, really.
Yeah,
Whereas in the middle of summer, it's a day out, a
it's a
different
day
day.
out, yeah.
Now,
Yes.
getting back to Ballina, because your time is precious and you have a lot to do today. A new building has been purchased, and
Yes.
was there two other buildings already being um, conditioned and reconditioned for purpose? So, just how many buildings are in Ballina, just in Ballina, one town itself?
There's a lot, but the main ones obviously are the Twin Trees and the St. Mary's proposed bypass. Now, we had this house that I was only tipped off about yesterday or 2 days ago. So I went about looking for the planning to make sure of my facts and figures, which is why I made that video yesterday. That's a 9 bedroomed house, each with ensuite. So I don't know how many they'll fit inside there because they pack them in like sardines, as you know well. We also have properties within the town. There's one now I'm going working on, hopefully today. There's a company called KPM Limited that I have to do a bit of research on, but their name has come up a lot lately to me for being around the country using the same auctioneer for selling properties. And this property is up in Teeling Street in Ballina. For people that are in Ballina, it's just across from the Western People at the corner there, a big brown building. And you have the front of it, but it goes right up the side road. It's a huge 2-story property, and that's one out that I'm starting on today. Again, I've no facts and figures or nothing yet, and I'm waiting for the planning application to come through as well. But that is definitely an iPass as well. And we don't know how many figures. We also have properties on Ardnaree, the likes of Mary Murphy's, which is an old kind of pub restaurant, where planning has gone in and workers have been seen in and out at the back of it. Although I'm still waiting because every time I go down, they seem to disappear. So we have a lot. There's a lot of houses being bought. Houses that would normally take 6 months to sell are now selling in a week and a half. They're being refurbished and being given out to migrants, not to Irish local people that are on the waiting list for 18, 19 years. You know,
And the first house you described there, you mentioned it was 9 bedrooms, each
yeah,
one in suite bedrooms,
yes.
as in
Oh,
a
ensuite,
bathroom
only the
and a
best, yeah.
shower involved with everything. So this would be top of the line, perfect for wealthy tourists visiting Ballina or whatever.
Yes, and
And instead of that, it's been just taken out of the marketplace
it's been
completely.
completely taken out of the marketplace, yeah, completely.
Many people that I speak to or I see being spoken to by others are very, very concerned now that the tourism industry is going to be just obliterated altogether because people will have no place to stay whatsoever.
Well, my best example to that, Declan, is the throwback to the Salmon Festival that we have every year. And when we were down at our height, in the Twin Trees in, was it June or July? The Salmon Festival is for 10 days. And the Salmon Festival Committee actually had to put out an advert on Facebook and social media asking people, ordinary people like you and me, have we any spare bedrooms in our house? Have we any spare field or garden that we can that people can put tents up in? Because there was no places to stay, because in all our hotels here in Ballina, they're either fully taken up with migrants or they're 75% taken up. So spaces are very, very, very limited. And the fact that they actually had to advertise people to register their names and addresses so people can come from around the country to the Salmon Festival, which turned out to be a disaster anyway because of the low numbers. And that's always kind of one of the biggest days of the year that we have in Ballina, the Salmon Festival, and in particular Heritage Day, which is on the Wednesday, the middle of the week, where the whole town is closed off and there's stalls and everything put up and everything. But yet people had no places to stay.
Well, many wouldn't be very well aware of what's so important about fly fishing, or indeed salmon fishing,
Yeah.
trout, pike, you name it. Ireland is probably in the top 3 places in the world that a person would go to get um, fly fishing and etc.
Oh,
And
it
that
would, but
now is,
even if you take tourism in general, I was speaking to a load of people around the world, and the Irish are known for their crack and their sense of humour, especially in the catering market. If you're going to a restaurant and you order a cup of tea and a coffee or a biscuit or whatever, and you have this young girl come up to you, and they're always bright and chirpy and cheery and talk about the weather and talk about this. And I've had a load of people coming up to me saying it's not the same in Ireland no more when we come over. We have these foreign waitresses coming over to us, and we're trying to have a laugh and a joke with them, and they barely understand us. The Irish kind of crack has gone out of it. With the Irish girls not working there as such, not in the same numbers no more. And they're small little things that us Irish are known for. We're a very welcoming committee, a very welcoming committee of people here in Ireland. But you can only kind of push our boundaries so far. We're very welcoming to tourists. We'll guide them, we'll help them, we'll do whatever we can for them. But when tourists are coming over and they're going into restaurants to order and they're being greeted by people who barely speak English and getting abuse back, that kind of way, they don't like it, and it turns them off coming to Ireland.
it's fascinating to dwell on the fact that Ireland had 3 fantastic industries: fishing, agriculture, and tourism. They were sort
Yes.
of given by God as a miracle, perhaps, to Ireland. They just have it.
Oh, yeah.
The fishing has been destroyed, of course, 30 years plus ago.
All
Farming now
gone.
is in the process of being destroyed. The last 2 to 3 years now, they're just eliminating tourism as well. So it's a very strange set of situations. It's obviously deliberate destruction. But
Oh,
that's
complete.
the
Yeah.
topic again for another day. So anyway, the situation in Ballina is that there is at least 4, if not more, properties. And not only now have they been going to the bigger properties, but according to you now and the reports you're giving me is they're now just going down to the smaller individual houses,
Down
what
to, yeah.
might be described as
Now,
just
where
simple
I'm,
bed and breakfasts, and taking them as well.
yeah, sure, even where I'm living here now, Declan, there's a house only 6 doors up from me, up this way. And it's been vacant for I'm here 25 years in this particular house now. I'm in Ballina 30 years. And it was sold recently to the council for €101,000. And it's been renovated for migrants. Now, yet the council have 18 houses in Ballina that they can't afford, they say, to renovate for local people that are on the housing list, young families with children. And yet they spent 101,000 on that one house up here. And I've been told by a builder that works around town that they're buying up an absolute load of these houses around town that need renovating and giving them out. Just individual houses. And it's like they're trying to, instead of getting them in bulk, they're getting them into estates in a family of 5 and a family of 4, whatever. We put them in there, they'll integrate and they'll, come into the local estate, and we'd put another couple here and another couple here rather than one big bulk like 1,000 back at St. Mary's. So I was talking to an auctioneer lately, and what he said, what's happening with that is that one landlord is fighting the other landlord, so prices are being driven up. So a house that might be worth 100,000, one fella's offering 120, one fella's offering 140. The money there is endless, Declan.
Yes, well, when the money is endless, as you say, or it's infinite, it's obviously pricing the local people out.
Of course it is, yeah. They can't afford it.
The thought of a house going in Ballina for 100,000 euros would have been just unbelievable a
Yeah.
very short time ago.
But geez,
All
yeah.
right, well, that is the situation then in Ballina, and it's a sad situation, but we gotta continue on with it as much as we can.
Yeah.
Do you have any other parting words? Is there any big event coming up that you'd like to mention or anything
Well,
before
we
we?
are working on another event for Ballina and Knock in the coming weeks. There's one in Athlone this Saturday. Now, it's not a protest or a gathering. It's just basically kind of a meeting of like-minded people at the gates to Lizzie Wallen this 25th, I think, this weekend. Is it? Geez, I forget if it's Saturday or Sunday. No, it caught me off guard. I think it's, yeah, Saturday. This Saturday, the 25th. And because the court case, as you know, is the 27th. So we're just having a meeting there, as John likes to call it, a soiree, a kind of a tea and coffee meeting, where we can all just have a chat about what's happening in Athlone regarding the upcoming court case on the 27th. So that's happening this weekend. After that, then we're planning for Knock and Ballina and Letterkenny as well, because planning has been approved up in Letterkenny, which is up around John's neck of the woods, for a mosque to be built up there on sacred land. So that's one now that we're working on at the moment as well.
Well, Donegal is a fairly big place, but you're
Yeah,
telling me now that the site that they chose for the mosque just happened to be on a sacred piece of ground.
yeah.
Uh,
From what I can gather, yes.
that's usually the case.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we're working hard on that now at the moment as well. There's an
Well, the
awful lot.
bottom line is anyway that
There's
everybody
just
that's
so
following
much
you
going
would be
on.
well encouraged in the fact that you're looking well and things are improving and the plans are heading on ahead. And that court case, of course, is the court case that was brought by the five politicians down there with regards at loan.
That's
What
correct.
is the nature of the decision? It's obviously either going to be yes or no. But what will the decision? What are the two possibilities that will be issued by that court on that particular day?
Well, I suppose number one is that the Roger O'Gorman has already come out and admitted that these are illegal sites. Now, with that admission, there's a possibility that there might just be a full pullout altogether. But then I'm looking at it in the way, if the government comes out and admits that, they're going to have to admit it about Coolock, about Newtown Mount Kennedy, about Clonmel, about Dundrum. So I can't see the government going against themselves, you know? So it's very hard to say what way it's going to go.
I was asking somebody else about the status of the case that the fellows brought down there in Dundrum, and I wasn't able to get any update on it. So I presume there was no update as of yet on it.
No.
But then, according to you, this Athlone case would maybe be pivotal in the sense that it would determine the outcomes of all the other cases,
Oh,
depending what the
100, yes,
outcome was.
100% Declan. You see, there's, I believe, 50 concessions gone into that injunction. And the government conceded on about 15 of them or something like that. And I think the issue is around these 13 to 15 concessions. Now, what they are all, one by one, I do not know. But that's what seems to be the major case. And of course, having Roger O'Gorman coming out saying that they are illegal sites is a major one as well, of course. The story in Clonmel since yesterday morning. The porta cabins are going in there.
Yeah,
82, I think, or 83 porta cabins worth $500,000 each are presently going in there at the moment.
that O'Gorman fellows. Sometimes I don't watch politics in Ireland as much. Is his name Roderick or Wadwick?
Uh,
Wadwick?
He's called a lot. I wouldn't like. I won't say on air exactly what we call him, but I just go with Wadwick. What Wadwick O'Groomer, we'd like to call him mostly, but he's been called worse.
Yes, well, that might be the medieval Irish of his name. I don't know. I'm only
Yeah.
trying to learn modern Irish. I'll have to ask somebody whether it's medieval Irish as well. All right, John. Well, thank you for coming on. What we need to do is we might need to get a few fellows from these other locations to come on once a week or once a fortnight and give us a little bit of
Oh
advice
yeah,
on what
no
to use
problem.
as
I can
well.
get plenty of them for you.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a network going. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, John.
no
It's
problem at
very
all,
helpful.
Declan. Been great talking to you.
God bless. Take it
As
easy.
always. God bless now. God bless.